So your voice really matters. When it comes to speaking your own voice, you know we late, and we're here to bring to you a conversation about how to fully utilize our voices and to be able to bring them out of us, okay? So welcome again.
Welcome. I feel so weird because I feel like I'm demoted. Like I went from guest to host and now I'm the guest again.
The guest is always like at the highest level, right? Isn't it? I think you're gonna have a lot of wisdom to share for sure, right? Because to be able, you know, to voice your own voice, you know, you went through that whole process. Yeah. You know, in our topic today, when it comes to our topic, what do you think is like the most important question that I must ask you?
I think what is the most important to ask is how do we love our voice rather than how do we find our voice.
Okay, so you're a KOL, you're a comedian, you know, you are an educator, and you know, you're a public speaker. Which one of these voices do you love the most?
I feel like if people ask me what I do, I still would say comedian because that's kind of the thing that I want to do the most with my career. But a comedian does a lot of stuff. I mean, aside from making people laugh, I want to make people think. I want to make people question. I also want to make people cry sometimes.
So, you know, if you were going to talk to our audience and tell our young audience in terms of how they can raise their voices or how they can be comfortable with their voices, what would be your tips to them?
I feel like we need to be taking notes from them. Yeah, because
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, because in this generation, I think the beauty of all of these social platforms is people are empowered to raise their voice. There are a lot of content that I find malicious online, but what I find kind of endearing and encouraging for me is whenever there's something malicious online, there is something fighting those malicious content. And people are raising their voice on a daily basis. They are making TikToks, making videos. When somebody says something bad, they're gonna make a video to talk about why it's bad and why other people should listen. I love that everyone is reflecting and kind of reassessing their motives and their feelings because of that. So the growth of the online social media kind of hurts and helps at the same time. I do have a love-hate relationship with social media. I can't overwhelm myself with that flow of information all the time. But I feel like there are positive effects, and I think Gen Z should keep doing what they're doing. It's better to raise your voice rather than keep yourself I think older people will relate to this. We tend to just like overcompensate and keep silent and think everything will be fine. I don't think I should meddle with other people's business. But I think Gen Z and Gen Alpha, they're much more open to raise their voice.
I think there's a lot of things to learn from Gen Zs, Gen Alphas, and you know, even though we're in this show and we're talking a lot about the things that we feel and we know, but I think in terms of how the younger generation, Gen Zs, Gen Alpha is raising their voice or is feeling comfortable to say certain things or in the form that they do it with, I think it is really inspiring because it's just so like out of the world and creative, and you started an art form in Vietnam to also raise our voices in Vietnamese in a funny way, right? And it doesn't need to be kind of like a movie or a segment. People can just stand on stage and say something, and it can be like a learning point and a lesson.